Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sea Morning Show. Now, forests are home to many of the Earth's flora and fauna. They also play an important role in keeping climate change and its impacts. As we've known, a lot of things are happening, natural disasters, oxygen depletion, and drought, currently are happening in the world, and the forests help all those things in check. Now today we're going to talk with a forest conservationist working to protect, conserve and restore the ecosystem in Leuser, Sumatra.
Yes, the Leuser Ecosystem spans 2.6 million hectares in Aceh and North Sumatra, Indonesia. It is the last home to Sumatran orangutans, rhinos, elephants and tigers, and is also homes to humans, of course. So joining us today in the studio is Irham Hudaya Yunadi. He's the Deputy Program Coordinator at the Forest, Nature and Environment Aceh Foundation, also known as HAKA. Good morning, Irham.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, tell us about, I want to always create context, right, when we talk about this thing. So, tell us the brief overview of the Leuser ecosystem and its significance to our lives.
Sure. So the Leuser ecosystem is a forest landscape that's covering the Aceh province as well as North Sumatra province, and it spans 2.6 million hectares. And as you've already mentioned before, it's the last place on Earth where Sumatran rhinos, orangutans, tigers, and elephants live together in the wild. But also, to put it into context, is also a key area for water source. So most of the upstream of rivers in Aceh and North Sumatra, and parts of the northern part of North Sumatra, actually is within the Leuser ecosystem. So if you imagine the landscape itself being depleted, that hardens, that makes it very difficult for water sources. We know it's very essential, and it's essential for many communities that live near it as well.
So what does HAKA do in relation to this?
So as you mentioned before, HAKA focuses a lot more on the landscape protection, but we focus slightly differently on the policy. We do a lot of policy advocacy as well as empowering local communities to act on conservation ideals as well as supporting them to protect their land.
Right. Can you give us a specific example?
So one specific example is our work with social forestry. So social forestry is a program that's also supported by, it's actually quite promoted by the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, focusing on providing access to local communities to manage their forests. There are about 5-6 different schemes within the social forestry, and we focus on Forest Village. So with this scheme, it allows local communities to protect forests that's near to the village. And so this is quite a long process of where we're supporting local communities to prepare their ideas, to also submit documents to the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, where they will provide the permit for 35 years.
Why do you think it's more effective to involve local communities in protecting the forest?
There will be a sense of ownership for local communities because they live near the forest and they depend on the forest for their livelihood. As we talked about it off camera previously, a lot of forest provides a lot of the essential things for local communities, such as water, and if they live near the river, there's food such as fish, and forest also is key to ensuring the local communities in mitigating disasters such as floods. But at the same time, they also play a key role in supporting community plantations as well. So, for example, like Aceh is very known for its coffee. Coffee requires good forests to ensure that the climate is functional for the coffee production. So with the current state of climate change, a lot of there has been quite a decrease in coffee production, which for local communities sometimes they end up encroaching further into the forest to ensure that there is to ensure that they meet the production, especially with some coffee in Aceh requires in a highland with increasing climate, increasing temperatures,
Yeah.
they have to go up further and further
Yes.
to make sure their coffee is produced. So that's one of the current challenges that we face on the ground.
Yeah. I want to take a little step back a little bit, Marissa, because you mentioned how significant the ecosystem to its surrounding community, but we know that forest is actually one of the medium or agent that absorb carbon dioxide. And this Leuser ecosystem is very big. Is you mentioned in terms of hectares, I read it, it's around 35 times of Singapore. So you can imagine it's very, very big, and it's such an asset to the world for global warming prevention or reversal, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, in terms of environment and economic significance, because they are actually correlated with one another. Can you explain more about it so as to give our audience a bigger context, not only its significance to the community, but also for all the people around the world?
Yeah, to provide that into context, there is a lot of potential for forest protection to support the local economy. One of the more commonly known that what we're promoting is through non-timber forest products such as honey and many others. So that's quite a high potential. And as we know, honey can also be used for has its derivatives for skincare products as aside from consumption. So aside from consumption. So that's other potential that we should be considering, and of course as this is a very big place, it's still clouded in quite a lot of mystery, and we're really hoping that quite a lot more research can go into the other potential economic sources that that still lives within Leuser.
Do you know the comparison, like compared to the past of the Amazon forest, like in comparison, how percentage is it, this Leuser ecosystem, just to put this into context?
Yeah, I don't know in terms of how to compare it to Amazon, but as we talked about, it is a very big place that covers most of Aceh province and part of the North Sumatra province. So.
All right, now, so,
Go ahead.
Okay. What do you think that our audience can do to support and help your organization? Because we know that there could potentially be a lot of challenges as well, a lot of threats such as palm oil plantation, land clearing, right? And you're doing such an amazing job in terms of raising advocacy, policy creation, catalyzing the, the initiatives, right? What can we do as a civilian to support your organization?
There's a lot of ways to support conservation. I mean, I think in the past it was always felt like you can only contribute to conservation if you're
in the field.
If you're in the field, you're an expert in biology or forestry. But nowadays we want to open up a wider audience to be involved in conservation. So one of our more recent works is to do campaigns involving local artists to create art with regarding to environmental issues. That's one aspect that could even be bigger. And I was also mentioning about research. We do require still quite a lot of support in research of the potential of the Leuser ecosystem and in what ways we could maximize
You mean
its
research?
potential.
It means that, for example, for someone like me in Russia who are not in this field, when you said about research, does it mean that people like us can donate so that research can be done?
Research can be done, but at the same time, the journalists also play a key role in exploring and creating stories of what's happening on the ground. Storytelling play also a crucial role in amplifying what's happening on the ground, because not everyone can fully understand, and stories help create that bridge for people around the world to understand what's going on the ground. So there's a lot of different ways, and people can feel free to reach out to us at the social media or website, and we'll be happy to discuss potential ways to collaborate on how we could work together, to create something.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
amazing.
So the website is?
www.haka.or.id.
Nice. Okay, and social media, are you on
It's
Instagram, X?
Haka_Sumatra.
Okay, Haka.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. Thank you so much, Irham, for sharing.
Thank you very much.
And definitely we need a lot more support, even though if you're not an environmental scientist, you can definitely still support them to do their research by donating. You can check out their website and also their social media. We're going for a quick break. When we return, my colleague Ravi Nasution will bring you the recap from the world of sports. Thank you.